if told you there is a way to pendulum squat without a dedicated, expensive machine in your home gym? Too good to be true? I thought that too until my brain cooked up a hack with this hack squat attachment right here. This is Joe, and you're watching JB TV. Meet the RitFit AT02A hack squat attachment. It just rolls off the tongue. This is the centerpiece to my pendulum squat. The piece alone, it is interesting as it comes with brackets, allowing it to adapt to 2x2, 2x3, or 3x3 racks. Now, it's not a light piece, sitting around 40 pounds, but it can handle over 350 pounds load capacity, which that's enough for me. But if you squat higher than 350, you might want to dial it down, go for volume, or maybe do one leg instead of two legs with the setup. Now, pendulum squat, it's not like leg press where you lose 30% or more of the felt load. One quality it does share with the leg press is the ability to change your muscle bias. You throw your feet lower on the platform, you hit quads. You throw your feet higher on the platform, you hit glutes and hammies. You don't have a platform? Well, that's where the second half of this hack is. See, the hack squat attachment, it's okay for hack squats, but the magic's in the platform, or these squat wedges. Now, when I first tried this out, I used some cheap squat wedges I got off of Amazon years ago, and they did make the hack squat feel better, but I wasn't getting that pendulum impact. You needed more lift. That's where we introduced this jack of all trades slant stack by Tib Bar Guy. This is like a squat wedge that's been juicing. Don't let its non-metal appearance fool you. This is rated up to 1,200 pounds, meaning most equipment used around this is going to fail before it does. Now, the slant board itself, it is a 26-degree angle, sitting at 19 inches long, 11 inches wide, 5.5 inches tall. But these 2-inch risers are what make this the ideal platform. It comes with 3 risers, and if I stack all 3 of the included risers, this elevates the slant board about half a foot off the ground. Then when you add in the slant board height itself, you're closing in on about a foot above the ground, giving me the height I need to really swing the RitFit piece down low for a pendulum squat. The fact that each riser interlocks with each other and the slant board also gives me a sturdy platform that I know I can trust. Now you can choose to lock the slant board into the riser from the front, or you can choose to lock it in from the back. If you lock it in from the back, you have a little bit of a platform, and if you lock it in from the front, you have just a steep drop off. I prefer it in the front personally so I could move my feet down the slant without them running into the top of the riser. Now, the best part about these two pieces, it's not a one-trick pony. The RitFit piece can actually do hack squats as well, and one of the other pieces I really like to do with it is calf raises. Having the padding go across your shoulders, it is way more comfy than having a barbell resting raw across your back. And you don't have to worry about re-racking or feeling off balance because this does keep you locked in on your plane of movement just like a machine would. Now, to get the max stretch, I do like to throw my Oak Club Wessie down and get to work. Now, the slant stack, it can easily double as a platform for calf raises as well. I'm just kind of a nerd and I gravitate towards the Star Wars patterns whenever I can. Now, full transparency, I did receive the RitFit and the slant stack pieces at no cost in exchange for a review. I had no idea they'd pair together the way they did, and I do have affiliates with both companies, but that did not impact this review in any way. If you do find value in this, please click those links when purchasing. One thing I did want to note is that this piece did bend. Now, I have done 250 pounds of squat with this attachment. I haven't maxed it at the 350, but I have gone 250. I have pieces from Amazon that I'm getting that'll basically wedge under here and hopefully straighten this back out. But I did want to note this, and if the pieces do work to reinforce, I'll make sure to update this video with the link in the description. One other thing to note that I don't think a lot of people covered was how do you really get in and out of this machine? And I actually forgot to cover it too, so I'm putting this in post-production, I guess. This is actually like a kind of like a stopper, and it's got a whole bunch of holes. So for me, When I'm actually going into my pendulum squat mode, I'll kind of show you. This doesn't have weight on it, but I mean, it's still the same. So if you look, I can't actually reach this because I'm too short. So what I actually have to do is grab it from this piece right here, and then do that. And now you can perform your pendulum squats. So it's just something to know if you're 5'6", like me, or maybe even a little shorter, that may be something you have to do to kind of hack the hack squat. And then to reset it, you got to grab it from here and then just slide it back, find the hole, and then boom, you step down. If you're wondering how does this store, it is actually pretty simple. I store it on the outside of my rack, but if you were put it into storage mode, you just literally take the pin off, then walk it down, and you can see it basically sits there stored. I am extremely glad that Tib Bar guy sent me their slant stack because honestly, I don't do knees over toes training and I would not have had any interest in shelling out $150 to start. But now that I've got it in my gym, it's became a jack of all trades for a variety of movements that my squat wedges just couldn't match. Here's one example where I threw the slant stack as a base, so my heels could be elevated when I do chest supported rows with my lever arms. Honestly, I'm finding new ways these things make my life easier every single week. They were designed for things like Patrick or Poliquin or Peterson step ups, split squats, VMO squats, regular squats, deficit, deadlift, Jefferson curls, the list goes on and on. I'd be lying if I told you I'm doing all these things, but maybe I will one day because I have the option. There is a workout list on the website with a ton of all the movements you can do. I could just film myself doing them, but since I haven't really been training those movements, I did feel it'd be a little bit disingenuous to highlight that in my opinion. So you can just look on the site and see all the other stuff it does. Before realizing I could combine this with other gym pieces to create optimal setups, I was using this as a standalone for Poliquin step ups. That's basically where you keep one foot slanted down and squat down, touching your other foot to the ground. This helped my ankle mobility a ton. Why is that important? Well, let me show you. See, I've blown a few tires out playing basketball competitively. The last time I even played a full court game was 15 years ago, back when I was selling supplements and I qualified for a trip to Hawaii. I rolled my ankle so bad that it swelled up to the point where my flippers were two sizes different and I could not even walk pain free. I missed out on so many of the planned excursions on that trip, and from then on, I planned on never playing another full court game in fear of it ruining other future experiences. I've been doing my step ups, my elevated split squats, the hamstring and calf stretches, all of that for the past 3 months, and I can tell my ankles are finally getting into a better spot where I might even join a basketball league, for old fat guys where I belong now.
Let it ride!
Now give the setup a shot, and you'll be glad you did. And as always, take care, lift heavy, and I'll see you next time.